If you don't want to waste time finding good books to read, or if you just have too many books on your list that you think you might like and you're not sure where to start, you can use the 10% rule, and it's really going to help you tremendously. It's easy to remember, and it's also easy to do, and I've used the 10% rule to read more than 100 books every single year for the last 10 years. And my reading list isn't any shorter than yours is. I get dozens of book recommendations every single day. I've got authors sending me their books, different mailing lists I'm on. Every time I scroll through Instagram, people are telling me about books that I have to read now. How do you decide which ones to read? Use the 10% rule. There are actually two different 10% rules, and that's just when it comes to reading. I'm sure there's a 10% rule that's completely different. It doesn't have anything to do with reading. There's a rule for everything. There's like a 1% rule and a 5% rule. There's a 4% rule. There's a lot of rules. But we're talking about two of them today, and the first one I'll get into in like a second, and the next one, or the second one, we'll talk about very briefly at the end of the video, and that's also exceptionally helpful. And I'm going to show you how using the other 10% rule will allow you to read 37 extra books by the end of the year. And you'll find out exactly how that works at the end of the video. But the first version of the rule is incredibly simple, and it's just that you commit to reading 10% of any given book before you decide whether to keep reading or not. It's very simple, but it's also very effective. So for example, for a 200-page book, you only have to commit to reading the first 20 pages and see if you like it. Don't overcomplicate things at all. So instead of believing that you have to read this entire 200-page book in one sitting, or like once you start the first page, you're committed, you're in it, it takes a lot of the pressure off, and you can actually enjoy reading again, which is kind of the whole point. And when you commit to reading just the first 20 pages or the first 15 pages or whatever of a book, it takes all of the pressure off and just allows you to get on with it. And if, in those first 15, 20 pages, you realize that, this book is just not for me, I don't like it, there's no shame whatsoever in just stopping the book. Like, you don't have to finish it. And even if it's a book that everyone else loves, like, if it's not the right book for you, just move on. And the 10% rule will help you find those great books for you much, much faster. And now the alternate version of the 10% rule, and this is going to help you read 37 books every single year. I know that's oddly specific, why not 38 or 36? But hear me out on this one. The idea here is that you read 10% of a book every single day. Now, it's a little bit harder. If you're reading a 500-page book, that means you read 50 pages a day. But by the end of the year, if you read just 10% of a book every single day, you will have read 37 books. And it doesn't have to be 500-page monsters or anything like that. Some of my favorite books are under 200 pages, right? So you'd read 20 pages of that book every single day. And by the end of the year, you'll have read 37 books, and which, like, it doesn't seem like that can't be right. Like 37 books, just 10% of a book every single day. But it's true. I mean, like, just do the basic math that I had to still use a calculator for. The sooner you stop reading boring books, the faster you can get to your next favorite book. It's all about, starting more books, quitting more books, and reading the best ones twice. And a bonus tip here for making it to the end of the video, it has to do with book summaries, which I think of as like 10% of the actual book. So reading book summaries is an excellent way to figure out if it's really a book that you want to continue reading or start reading in the first place, because you're going to get most of it, most everything that you need to know from the book in that summary. Now, I don't think of book summaries as replacements for reading the actual book. In rare cases, that's true. You can just read the summary and basically, be done with it. But for the best books, for the really greatest books ever written, book summaries are no replacement. I do my best on the Stairway to Wisdom. It's my library of expert book breakdowns. You find the link down in the description. I've got more than 100 great books, all the key ideas, action steps, my takeaways, summaries, everything like that. But one of the things I always say is, the books that I pick for the Stairway to Wisdom, they're books that ideally I would want everyone to read in their entirety. Use the summary as sort of like a preparation, staging ground, if you will, to sort of familiarize yourself with the ideas before you jump into the actual book. But it's not a replacement for reading the book itself. So it's just an idea yourself. You can get a membership to Stairway to Wisdom, or something like Short Form. They're really good. I'm not an affiliate for them because they're my direct competitors. Obviously, I want you to sign up for Stairway, but their book summaries are really good. So short form, I'm not a huge fan of Blinkist. I don't think they're all that great, but there are they're decent enough. And there are other book summaries out there. So just, read one of the summaries, get the key ideas, get a sense of whether it's something that you want to commit more time to, and then decide for yourself if you want to read that actual book. It'll save you an awful lot of time, and you pair that with the 10% rule, both versions of the 10% rule, you're going to find new books to read faster than you ever have before. You're going to read more books than you ever have before. It's going to help you tremendously. You're going to be a lot better off. I've got many more reading tips like this on my channel, and after helping thousands of people read more books and get more out of the books they do end up reading, I've noticed that most people have the same 7 problems that keep coming up again and again. So I made an entire hour-long video dealing with all of these 7 problems. I actually provide 38 expert solutions to those 7 big problems that most people have with reading, and you can find it all in this video right here. But I will see you next time for the next video, and hey, happy reading.
To do something great, sacrifice is a part of it. It's just the start of it. You can't start then quit. You have to harness this, cause energy is bliss. And when I swing, I miss, but then I swing and hit. So I'ma swing again and I'ma swing again.